Hello once again. I'm Doc Rodden, and welcome to Heroes and Droids. This is your Easter eggs, reference, and details for the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 2. This is going to be a lot of fun, but let me introduce you to your real host, award-winning filmmaker. I'll say it right.
Milker.
Not a filmmaker, but a filmmaker.
That's what he said, yeah. Filmmaker.
Christopher G. Moore, take over.
You gotta milk that film.
Yes.
Yeah.
That takes on a whole new meaning when you know what films he's made.
I know. Well, this has started off well.
Milk it like a bantha.
Welcome to the Easter egg episode for the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 2. And of course, we have our wonderful, coolest co-host in the galaxy, in a galaxy far, far away. First, we got Chris Slattery, the Slat Man. How you doing, dude?
Good. Happy to be back.
Nice. Glad to see you back. Yeah, we missed you, man. We got podcasting rock star and international cosplay queen, Vanessa. How you doing, lady?
Excellent. Ready to hear about these Easter eggs.
Ooh, good. Hopefully I have some.
Me too.
Short show.
And last but not least, we have comic book artist Chad Hunt. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine as hell.
Well,
You
are fine as hell.
Yeah.
I wrote that down before we started. Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt. So
Checks in the mail.
So what are we here for? We're here for Easter eggs because it wouldn't be a geeky show if they weren't Easter eggs hidden. And I say there's some deep Easter eggs in this episode. Easter eggs that you would only know if you knew special features on certain DVDs or certain movies.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, crazy stuff that was never even in the movies, but now it becomes canon. So we'll just go down the line. First of all, we have characters walking to Jabba's palace, just like C-3PO in Return of the Jedi. So we have a little bit of return to that. The nice little shot with the gate opening up, like teeth going into the beast. We also get a popular Huttese curse word when they bring the assassin in. He says "etuchute," which was actually in Empire Strikes Back when that robot does not like C-3PO, and he's like "etuchute," and he's like, "How rude."
Boba wasn't happy about that.
Yeah. So that's a Huttese curse word. Of course, we get the Rancor pit. We get to see the Rancor pit. You know, we've been wanting to see this thing, since Return of the Jedi, and it's still operational. Although, if you notice, there's actually Rancor heads on some of the thrones, and instead of a button that Jabba hits on the side, there's a little hidden button inside the Rancor mouth. So that's pretty cool. We get to meet the mayor, who ends up being an Ithorian, or what we used to call Hammerhead back when they used to make the toys that didn't have names for the aliens.
Doesn't he look so cool now compared to originally?
Well, you have an aged version. It has like little hairs and wrinkles and stuff. So, and that mayor was voiced by Robert Rodriguez, who's the creator of the series.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we originally saw the first Hammerhead character in the Cantina scene in New Hope. So we get a mention of Mustafar when Boba Fett says sweating like a Gumta on Mustafar, although evidently there's actually nothing in the Star Wars universe named Gumta or whatever that is. Ooh. So we got a new term. So far, but I'm sure by the end of this week somebody will come up with something, or maybe it'll show up again in another episode.
Is this a metaphor for a church and somebody in the church, or is it?
Possibly, yeah.
Like a whore in church.
I wasn't going to say it.
Well, I mean, yeah. or a etuchute in church.
They sweat too,
Well, speaking of sweating, we meet two Hutts, the cousins of Jabba the Hutt. Because they keep mentioning that you didn't bring I think he calls it your litter, which is your people bringing it. And it's funny, you have all this technology where you could have like jets and stuff holding people up. No, they got people, and that thing's about to break. these two chubby Hutts. And they even there's even a bowl just like the Jabba the Hutt had with some kind of slithering snack in there. Let's see. And if you notice, he's using a furry animal as his handkerchief when he's wiping the sweat off of him.
And then he bit him. Did you see that?
Yeah, he bit his hand. So I love the attention to detail they're doing in this series. All these interesting things. And we get a character, the first live action version of a character. It's a Wookiee named Black Chrysaton. I think I'm pronouncing that possibly wrong, but and he showed up in the comics. This character is probably one of the most badass Wookiees you'll ever meet. He in the comics, he kidnapped Uncle Owen. He fought Obi-Wan, which is why he has a scar above his eye. So maybe we might get references to that. He also worked with Boba Fett for certain things for Hutt, and also on separate missions Darth Vader would send him on. Also, he's connected to Dr. Aphra. So if we get that sort of female Indiana Jones of the Star Wars universe, I'll be very happy.
So did he seem particular? I know the Wookiees are large, but did he seem particularly big? He seemed really big.
Fluffier than Chewie.
Yeah.
Well,
but he was about the same height.
Well, he's pretty badass.
He seemed giant.
He also had shoulder pads, big spiky shoulder pads.
Well, he also, his character in the comics actually has metal in his knuckles. Because he also fought Obi-Wan dismissed him as a gladiator, and actually they're in the comics he was in a fighting pit at one point. So so he's a badass character. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if we see more of that, or maybe if that character might show up in other things. But also because of his connection to Dr. Aphra, I'm wondering if we're going to see that, because I'd love to see that character in somewhere in the Star Wars universe. Also, when Boba Fett is in the bacta tank, they actually use the sound effect from Han Solo when he comes out of carbonite. So take that with what you will if you watch spoilers online about a character showing up.
I don't think so.
A certain actor was supposedly filming stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. It might be just a rumor. Also, something we've seen characters in the actually those characters I think showed up in one of the sequels, but the Pike Syndicate, which was of course is in a lot of the animated show, they seem to always look different in every form. They look different in the animated, look different in the sequels, and now they look different in this. But we actually get to see what they look like under their mask.
I have a theory on that, and I think it's like the same way that cats can have different like subspecies or different fur colors, or humans can look very different depending on where you live on Earth. It's just like that. It's just different characteristics of the same type of alien that just determines like where, like what specifically part of the galaxy you're from, or what family you're from, or something along those lines. And that could have probably explained the artistic differences between the various different mediums.
Probably, although they seem to be of the fishy variety of species in the Star Wars universe.
God, yeah,
very column, almost like not, have the calamari. We have all these different things, so because they're always
I thought you meant fishy, like suspicious.
Well,
that works
that too.
Works either way.
Yeah, they're always little tricky, as Run DMC would say.
What is nice? That.
And actually, here is the deepest Easter egg that for those of you that have watched special features on the New Hope stuff, there's a Nikto biker gang that we see, and they're in this bar, and it's funny because they have like almost like these Hell's Angels outfits, and actually in I think it's Arabesh. Below on the back of their jacket, it reads Tatooine. So they're so they're Hell's Angels of Tatooine or whatever.
Tatooine's Angels,
Tatooine Riders.
And it's supposedly they have it also on their bikes too. But anyway, do you guys know what that location is?
Is it Anchorhead?
No.
No.
That bar. Do you know what it is? It's Tashi Station.
Oh, it's Tashi Station.
That is Tashi
okay.
Station. And if you have like the New Hope DVD that has special features, go watch the cutscene where Luke is hanging out with his friends at Tashi Station. They actually rebuilt everything just like they did in that cutscene. And two of his friends are Cammy and Fixer, which are the two people in the bar. So these
that's crazy.
characters got cut out of the movie as Luke's best friends. And now they are finally canon in the normal universe by being included in this series. So talk about a deep cut. Even that little video game they're playing is a video game that's production design in that scene that got cut out.
Oh,
so
wow.
go back and
That's
watch
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Biggs is in that scene, but anyway, all of his friends, and you get to see basically how Luke is very goofy around his fence. So because they're looking at I think they're looking at the sky and stuff with the binoculars or whatever. But speaking of binoculars, the binoculars that the Tusken Raiders are using are the same type as Luke. So I'm wondering if they stole his binoculars when they met him that one time. When he's looking at him and they pop up in front of him. Of course, one of the things about Star Wars in general, it not only has it sort of like paid tribute to sci-fi, it's always paid tribute to westerns. We saw that in a lot of The Mandalorian. I think this episode more than anything pays tribute to westerns. I mean, we have like the train robbery. There's like in the same way that they would like have a thing of cattle, they have a thing of banthas. They have they have there's people trying to shoot at the train, almost like a train robbery. Also, there's a lot of Lawrence of Arabia references too, because in Lawrence of Arabia they attack a train to stop it, and in this basically similar fashion. Also, there's a scene where the Tusken Raiders are telling Boba Fett that they once had oceans, they dried up. That actually ties into some of the books. It's never really been made totally canon, but in the books they kind of explain that were considered non-canon at some point. So it is kind of cool that they're sort of tying in stuff that had been told. As to how that happened in this universe, that's totally different. And I think in the books, these people had bombed the planet so much it just turned it into a desert. Let's see. One of the alien characters in the Flashdance Ladies bar.
Flashdance Lady.
Jessica.
Ursula Foot.
Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals. There's a sort of this mouse rat alien, which is it's a Chadra fan, I think the name of the alien, but that's one of the aliens from the original Cantina scene, or that type of alien. If you notice the train engine, it seems to be kind of similar to a pod racer. And even some of the design of like the lights and stuff on it are very similar to when you think in the pod racing, when you have to like change things to make certain engines work and that kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting. That maybe they might have like, hey, we're going to take this stuff off a pod racer and we're going to put it on a train so it goes faster. They mentioned the mines of Kessel. Slave Mines of Kessel, which is, ties into a lot of things. They've mentioned that in the animated series, and also we have the famous Kessel Run. So, him having to build his staff as a Tusken Raider or becoming part of that community, it's the same as becoming a Jedi and having to fashion your own lightsaber by obtaining the crystal. And this, you have to obtain that stick. And so again, they always talk about like Lucas always rhymes, poetically rhymes with seeing things happen sort of in the same way. And we have that here. There's one part where they dig up an animal, and the animal, I think they called it a wart. And that's the same toad animal in Return of the Jedi that the tongue comes out and that Lucas added in the special feature in the special edition. Also, a nice little detail: the cinematographer for this episode is Dean Cundy, and he actually was a cinematographer for Back to the Future,
The Thing.
the one with the train. So,
Oh,
How
funny,
Back to the Future
yes.
3.
so Back to the Future 3. I think he might have done the other two as well, but anyway, it's interesting. He did the one, but so he has experience working with futuristic trains. Also, I think one of the cool things about any of these new projects is when they reuse Ralph McQuarrie artwork.
Yes.
And when it comes to the Tusken Raiders, when he brings his stick and he has to fashion it, there's that one almost like a broken piece of a hull, which is the place where he like carves it and everything. That is straight from a Ralph McQuarrie design involving Tusken Raiders that was never used.
Oh wow!
With the original films.
Yeah, that's really
very
cool.
So that's about a million that I have. Although for me, it's most exciting
That
because
was awesome.
I don't know about you guys. Like, I've seen a lot of the special features. I've seen the one with him with his friends, and
Yes.
to know that those sad actors that never got a paycheck from, maybe they got a paycheck from the special features, but never got a paycheck from the films, are now included in something, and now their characters are canon, and they even have a lot of the similar outfits and hairdos and stuff from their original character. So I thought that was kind of sweet to see. It made me very, very happy, but warm place in my heart finding that information out.
Think we'll see him again?
Probably not.
Think Luke will drop by and say hello? And
Luke, he's too busy drinking booby milk.
Ew.
Where else does milk come from?
Not at this point.
Not yet. He's still drinking.
Not
milk.
yet.
He did blue milk. Where did blue milk come from?
Oh yeah.
He's still a milk
Oh,
drinker.
that's right. He's off training
Grogu. Yeah.
right now.
Wait, right now? Right? Are we talking?
Yeah, this is
Are we
post
talking?
Mandalorian.
Not the Tusken Raider stuff.
Well, yeah, the Tusken
No, not
Raider stuff.
that.
Yeah,
is in
Tusken
past.
Raider stuff.
The
is
Tusken Raider
in the
stuff is
past.
happening about around the same
5
time that
years
Luke,
ago,
that they're
right?
blowing up the second Death Star.
No, that's probably right. Yeah. It's so confusing. Well,
We have flashbacks, so it could be.
Well, isn't it supposed to be 5 years after?
Yeah.
the main part of the story.
The main part. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the flashback is shortly after he escaped from the.
I mean, in this
yeah.
episode,
But-
it's like 90% flashback anyway. So
It feels that way, but it's
Also, one more thing is like, we talked about the Western thing, and I think they do a good job of treating the Tusken Raiders with respect that they used to. I mean, the Tusken Raiders were basically the Native Americans of
they're
the
the
Star Wars
indigenous
universe,
people of the Tatooine,
and they were treated like the old Westerns used to be. And so now we sort of see them respectful. There's even a part where they say, "This is their land," and they says
Yeah.
and there's even it's kind of a trope in those type of things as well. But like the mystical Native American scenario, they have that with the little lizard thing and the spice or dust or whatever they're using. Also, there's connections to another sci-fi property called Dune with the spice stuff. But anyway,
oh my gosh.
but anyway, I love how they sort of taken the characters that used to be just these faceless people that were just a menace and they didn't really have personalities, and to see how they sort of given us this sort of different view of them that shows they're just like anybody else. They're just trying to make it in this hot place on Tatooine.
And the best part is that all of the people that have been reading the books and reading the comics for years are just like, finally, people who only watch this stuff on TV finally know what we know, like about all of these things.
I have a question for you all before we wrap this up. The ceremonial dance at the end when they accept Boba Fett into the tribe, right? And they actually give him all the stuff, and then they do the dance around the ceremonial dance. Is that? It looked like it was based on the kind of dances that Tamara Morrison and The Rock do, from New Zealand.
It needs to be. I mean, I think it's kind of similar to that. So I'm glad that they're sort of working that.
Yeah, they definitely based that off of it. I think they're developing a lot of Boba Fett based off of Tamara Morrison's own cultural background. And I find that really, really interesting and cool that they would do that, because there is written lore and there's legend stuff, but a lot of we don't really know, right? A lot about the Tuscans, about who they are, these
Right.
different tribes that are out there. So I think it's really cool that they're incorporating that into their backstory as well as his.
Yeah.
Well, and that's Star Wars has always been about like taking a lot of these alien concepts, but also integrating stuff from different cultures and stuff into the aliens and the world. And you know, if you look at some of the stuff like Queen Amidala's outfits and stuff, a lot of that was inspired by Japanese outfits and different things. So it's always been influenced by different things, and I'm glad that they kind of worked that into the culture of the Tusken Raiders with Timur's background.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also got a name for the little bulb things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Black
I
something.
remember.
I forget what it was.
You called it a black melon.
Black melons. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's sci-fi name of a black.
Yeah. That's
and you drink the milk out of it, right? It's not actually water. It's milk.
It's named a little bit better than the music.
Yeah. You want to cheer that one?
Yeah. Well,
Couldn't call it jazz.
it's called Jizz, the
Yes.
music
Oh.
that they play in that bar that the Cantina band plays and
It's not
Max
spelled
Reba
that way,
plays.
though, right?
It's called
Space Jizz.
Jizz.
Space Jizz.
Thank you, George Lucas, for your wonderful
Vanessa, that's
praise.
worse. That's worse. All right.
How could he know at the time?
Probably not. He's probably clueless.
Yeah.
But it's funny how terms you think
And nobody had the
people-
guts to tell him because
They
he's
come
rich.
around.
Well, yeah, like
They didn't know what it was at the time. All right, well, guys, of course, we hope you enjoy these Easter eggs. Let us know if you like them separate like this. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And of course, we look forward to doing this for the rest of the season. What we got? 5 more episodes to go, and a whole year worth of not only Star Wars but Marvel, and there might even be some DC series we'll be covering. It's going to be bonkers.
Shocker.
It's going to be bonkers. But I look forward to that, and also look forward to the review of Boba Fett episode 2 that will be coming up and should be in the link below. All right, Christopher, thank you so much for your Easter eggs. They're awesome.
Yes.
no problem. I'm looking forward to seeing what other things pop up in this universe. I mean, especially if a certain character from Solo might show up, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, there might be a couple characters from Solo that might show
Well,
up.
that's true.
All right, well, Slapman, Vanessa, Chad, of course, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us and sharing this fun time.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's fun.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.